Why don't you
Welcome back, everybody. Race has played a big part in the Trayvon Martin case, but in the aftermath of every racially charged trial, some so-called civil rights leaders play the race card. They need there to be racial division and tension to remain relevant. Here's race baiter Al Sharpton playing on home turf NBC this morning.
Trayvon Martin had the civil right to go home, and in 100 cities this Saturday, there will be demonstrations in front of federal buildings led by ministers pressing the federal government to protect our right. And I can tell you this is long from being over, and we're going to be with them every step of the way because this puts every child at risk.
Dog whistle. This puts every child at risk. On the other hand, some leaders lead instead of picking at America's sensitive and not fully healed racial scab, like Alan West, African-American conservative, and willing to call out the race baiters.
But once again, you see a media and you see many people out there that are stoking the fires of quote-unquote race because they really are concerned about keeping that at the forefront, to keep this country divided because of a collective mindset.
Bobby Boy, your buddy Al Sharpton got more eyeballs today on the 5 than he gets normally in a couple of weeks of his own show. I know why he does it, but should he?
Well, first of all, can I get a passport to get back to my country?
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
You're allowed back in.
I think Sharpton did not have the most important sentence he needed to have, which is have a demonstration, that's fine, but keep it nonviolent. He did not say that, at least as far as I know. Alan West, I could just, you know.
Stay on Sharpton for a second.
Okay, Sharpton, look,
but
Sharpton is a guy.
May I ask you?
Yes.
If he was saying, look, let's put it this way. If race relations, if race in America was 100% perfect, there'd be no need for an Al Sharpton.
Well, that's right. That's right. And do I think that Al Sharpton stokes the fires because it keeps him relevant? In some ways, yes. But do I believe that there is now no racism in this country? Absolutely not.
Can you look at the cases that Al Sharpton has inserted himself into and made it worse?
Yeah.
Never made a single one better.
I agree.
Duke Lacrosse, Tawana Brawley, the Crown Heights riots. This case, I mean, basically pigment is your piggy bank if you're a race merchant. And this is a rare case. This one, the Trayvon Martin case, is a rare one compared to the thousands of homicides that occur every year. So the protest is legitimate if you perceive injustice, but it should not be reflective of society as a whole. This is rare.
And also, what I've been trying to think about, why is it this case that it was the trigger point? You have the gang violence all across America, mostly in the urban centers. 50% high school graduation rate for African Americans in most urban centers, including like Chicago, Las Vegas. 50%. If you don't have a high school diploma, your likelihood of being unemployed goes way up. There's 40% youth unemployment in Washington D.C. for African American youth. Why aren't those issues the ones that could be the trigger to actually get something done that could change
exactly?
And why is it okay then for Trayvon to call Zimmerman creepy-ass cracker? Do you think that's very nice?
I don't think
that's a derogatory racist term too.
I don't think this is in the middle of a fight. I mean, people say a lot of things, but I think Dana makes a good point here. Jesse Jackson, who is pretty good about these things, took on babies having babies. Remember that? That was a long thing, that most directed at blacks. Why it is that Al Sharpton doesn't go to Chicago and say it is time for you all to stop killing each other is beyond me.
Well, President Obama eventually did. After he was calling for the gun violence debate, and everybody said, well, what about in your own hometown of Chicago? Eventually he went there, but then you never hear anything more about it.
Because it's not the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is when you have a specific case that is polarizing, and then you jump in the front lines like Al Sharpton does. You're the first guy holding the banner.
He wasn't even the first guy, though. President Obama was the first guy who said if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin. He didn't say if I had a son or a brother or a cousin, he'd look like Ambassador Stevens or Ty Woods or the other two guys in Benghazi or Brian Terry.
Yeah, here's my thing.
With him saying that?
Because he jumped into this because of race, not because of a death and a homicide, an unjustified homicide.
I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist. It does. But I have a problem with people that want to make it more pervasive and create more problems and not even try and move forward in the right direction. This is dialing it back. This is putting us back further than we need to be as a country. And I think it's irresponsible. And they use it for their personal gain and personal promotion to have, and to, you know, the family suffered enough on both sides.
One thing I just want to say is I don't think we ought to just assume because black leaders like Sharpton are doing this, that the black community is upset. I think it would be upset with or without Martin, or with or without Sharpton. They are angry out there. And,
I think there's some truth to that,
and
this exposes a lot of things, and maybe we haven't made as much progress as we thought we did.
Correct, and I think the producers just told us in our ears some 700,000 signatures on the NAACP website looking for the FBI, or I'm sorry, the DOJ to